Oh, hey gang, welcome back. I have taught art for 20 years in elementary school, and the four most common questions I got. Number one, are they dead? That's usually referring to the artists we study: Leonardo da Vinci, Vincent van Gogh, Claude Monet, Mary Cassatt, Pablo Picasso, Andy Warhol, Faith Ringgold, Romare Bearden. Well, so far, everybody except for Faith Ringgold that we studied in elementary school was dead. Second most common question, Mr. Penn, how old are you? Older than 40, younger than 50 at this point. Followed by, you're older than my dad, you're younger than my dad. All kinds of that stuff. The third most commonly asked question, what's your favorite color? I don't have a favorite color. I'm an art teacher. I use them all, I love them all. I am partial to yellows and blues, if you must know. And the fourth most common question, which is a distant fourth, but every now and then kids would ask me, Mr. Penn, who's your favorite artist? And my favorite artist, I didn't know he was my favorite artist until I was a teenager, but his name is Drew Struzan. And as a young child, I had been exposed to his work without even knowing who he was. If you're looking at these posters and you're looking at these paintings, you might be wondering what they all have in common. They are all painted by the same guy, Drew Struzan. How do I know this? Because he signs his name Drew on all of them. As far as being an illustrator goes, or a painter, an illustrator, painter, artist, however you want to label him, the thing I love about his artwork is how fun and bright and expressive it is. A lot of times it looks better than real life. A lot of the portraits and expressions he paints are hyper realistic. They look realistic, and then there's something a little more extra fantastical about them. Now, the reason I'm talking about Drew is because one style of poster that he makes, some people might call it a collage, some people might call it a montage. I think since the internet's happened, a lot of people refer to this in social media as character stacking. A lot of his Star Wars posters are considered character stacking posters, finding new and unique ways to put all the characters together. Character stacking is a neat way to tell the story of a movie in the lobby as quickly and effectively as possible. When you are walking through a movie theater, you're talking to your friends, and you might notice the posters for a second, maybe 2 seconds. You're not really studying them, but you can tell with a character stacking poster just from the composition who the main character is. They're usually big, they're usually in the middle, or they're towering over the other characters. Then you've got side characters, supporting characters, characters that might appear half the size of the hero or medium-sized. And then there's typically tiny characters or the main character repeated, but you can see their whole body very small, that might be depicting a scene that happens in the movie. Then you've got one location, and then there's typically a picture frame motif. So the character stacking posters that you see in movie theaters, they're not all character stacking. In fact, going to the movies in March 2023, this is what I found as far as character stacking versus not character stacking. This one shows character stacking. This one isn't. This one isn't. This one isn't. This one isn't. This one is. This one shows character stacking. This one doesn't. This one is. This one isn't. This one is. This one isn't. This one isn't. This one isn't. This one isn't. This one doesn't. This one shows character stacking. Now, Drew Struzan retired before the new Disney Star Wars trilogy came out. He's retired before Indiana Jones 5 comes out this summer. He didn't invent character stacking in movie posters, but I do think he popularized it. And poster artists ever since then try to emulate the Drew Struzan style of movie posters. It would be very not smart of me to not mention all the character stacking posters that exist within the Marvel universe. Because at this point, the Marvel movies are the most popular movies being made, and I'm sure as my students go, you've all seen at least one of these. And assuming you don't even like movies, there's plenty of other examples of character stacking. In other areas, such as sports, I think every sports team every year has their own character stacking poster of the whole team, like the Golden State Warriors, or locally, like different sports at FSU have a calendar poster every year, whether it's baseball, football, basketball, even girls volleyball. You make your character stacking poster however you want to. So obviously what we are going to do for one of our grand finale assignments is make our own character stacking poster. And I want you to show me everything that you've learned in this class. The different screen overlays, different layers, changing the size of your characters, using different colors to make all the characters warm colored or cool colored, using different filters, using the blending option to draw outlines around your characters, pasting different patterns and textures from the internet onto your picture. To make this character stacking project, the things that I'm grading and looking for are one big main character, that's you. At least 3 medium-sized supporting characters in your life, they could also all be you. 2 small full figures should exist on your poster. I want you to have 1 location. I don't care if it's Deer Lake or your house or a place you wish you could vacation to, even a distant planet. I want at least 1 location on your poster and 1 picture frame motif. Now, what do I mean by picture frame motif? A lot of Drew's posters use treasure maps or baseball diamonds. This poster from Ted Lasso, I think, uses a soccer field as its poster frame. It can be a complicated poster frame. It doesn't have to be. But yeah, you get the idea. I want you to go down to Photoshop, open Photoshop, File New. You're going to make this file 24 inches by 36. You can go ahead and name it right now. Put your name, dash character stacking. You're going to save it at 150 DPI, a very high resolution, and you are going to make it RGB color. I'm going to spare you guys watching me collect all the photos off the internet or emailing them to myself. I'm gonna spare you guys watching me erase around all the photos and arranging them in the proper order. Okay, so by fast forwarding, this is what my character stacking looks like on step 1. This is what character stacking looks like on step 2. Let's go ahead and grade this real quick. Does it have 1 big main character? Yes. Does it have at least 3 medium-sized supporting characters? Yes. Does it have at least 2 small figures? Yes. Does it have 1 location? Yes. Does it have a picture frame motif? Yes. By showing you that is what a 100A will look like. Be sure to save it, export it as a JPEG, send it to me, and then next week we will put the finishing touches on this. I can't wait to see what these look like. See you next time. Bye.